let me read out some business jokes for you. The following statements qualify as some of the best jokes business owners crack in business. Here's the first statement. You need to think outside the box. Which box? Lunch box? Matchbox? Which box are you talking about? Here's the second one. You need to pull up your socks. What if your team member is wearing ankle socks today? How can they pull it up? The third statement. You need to buckle up. Wait, what if somebody's run out of holes in their belt? Then what? Fourth one. You need to think at the next level. Are you shifting their seat from the ground floor to the second floor? And that's why they need to think the next level? Or you're not yet there. If they're not yet there, can you send them the Google Maps address so that they can get there? Or the sixth one. Something is missing. I don't know what is missing, but it's not that what I want. Something's missing. Well, I know what's missing. What's missing is the capability of giving effective feedback to your team members. That's what's missing. Hi, my name is Rajiv Talreja, and what I read out for you are jokes that your team members listen to, but they don't laugh. They feel like crying because in the name of feedback, we make such statements to our team members and they're confused saying, what the hell do you want out of me? So that's why I'm creating this video to share with you what is feedback, what is not feedback, and how to give effective feedback. So make sure you watch this video till the end so you learn how to give effective feedback to your team members. My name is Rajiv Talreja, and as the author of this international bestseller book titled Lead or Bleed, I interviewed 300 business leaders from across India who've built some of the biggest brands in the country. And when I was interviewing them, one of the conversations we had during those interviews was around leadership. And one of the critical skills when it comes to leading is giving effective feedback. Because think about it, if you do not give effective feedback, then you're not leading your business, you're definitely going to bleed in your business. And that's why I'm making this video to give you the most important capability required to lead, which is the capability of giving effective feedback. Think about it. If you're not effective at giving feedback, essentially you're not effective at giving direction. And many a times what ends up happening in business is in the name of feedback, people vent their frustration out on their team members, and that's why their team members are not open to the word feedback. If you actually think about it, the larger perception of people, we look at feedback as a negative exercise. As a receiver, when you tell your team members, hey, I have some feedback for you, I need to share some feedback with you, or let us sit for a feedback meeting, automatically that team member starts thinking, where did I screw up? What did I do wrong? Where have I made a mistake? Now what happened? Think about it. You just said, let's have a feedback meeting. But their automatic response is as though they did something wrong and now they're going to be attacked for doing something wrong. And even as a giver of feedback, I have seen many business owners and managers and leaders use the word feedback with the thought process of, I need to give him feedback. I will give him feedback. I will teach him his lessons during the feedback session. And if you notice, that almost as though indicates that you want to kill that person in the name of feedback. So the reason why the word feedback creates this emotion of defensiveness or creates this aggression in the mind of the giver is because we haven't truly understood what is the true meaning of the word feedback. What is the true purpose of feedback? And for those who understand what's the true meaning and purpose of feedback are the ones who can use feedback to actually accelerate the performance of their team members. And for the ones who don't understand the true meaning and objective of feedback, they just use it to vent their frustration and feel macho in the process. So here's the truth. The meaning of feedback is that feedback is a development tool. The purpose of feedback is to help the person you are giving feedback to develop their capabilities and move to the next level and produce better quality of results in the job task that they are performing. So remember this, tattoo it on your arm. Feedback is a development tool. It's not a tool to vent your frustration. The purpose of feedback is to help, not to hurt. The purpose of feedback is to give direction, not to confuse people. It is a development tool. That's the first thing people need to understand about the word feedback. And this is something you need to understand as a business owner, and you need to educate your team members on. Because if they don't understand this, that's when feedback becomes the playground of conflicts in business. So before I break down for you how to give effective feedback, I want to break down for you how not to give feedback. So here are the methods of not giving feedback which you should avoid following. First, how not to give feedback is to blame a team member. When you're blaming someone and you are accusing them and you are saying because of you, you are like this only, this is how you are, that's not helping a person. That's not helping a person take responsibility. That's not helping a person realize what's missing. That's not helping a person make changes. That's only going to hurt a person and make them more defensive. So blame and accusations on your team members is the first method of not to give feedback. The second method of not to give feedback is to get angry and aggressive and abusive with your team members. If you're going to get angry, aggressive and abusive, you may satisfy your ego by feeling macho for that moment where you're feeling like you have the authority and you can give a piece of your mind to people. But let me tell you something. If you are feeling good about giving a piece of your mind to people, then there is no bigger, insecure, egoistic, hollow person than you in your business. I'm not going to mince my words. You don't own people. Just because you pay them money does not mean that you own them. वो आपके बाप की जागीर नहीं है. Please hear that out clearly. Anger, abuse and aggression just closes people's mind from listening to whatever inputs you have to give them. Anger, abuse and aggression is just a reflection of an individual's character and upbringing. It was poor mannerisms that was taught to you that led you to be angry, abusive and aggressive towards others. I'm sorry to say this, but that's the truth. Ting, 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 that would have hurt. Which brings me to the third method of how to not give feedback. Blaming doesn't help. Anger, abuse and aggression doesn't help. The third thing that doesn't help when it comes to giving feedback is vague feedback. When you are going to make vague statements, lazy statements like think outside the box, okay, think at the next level, pull up your socks, buckle up. These are vague feedbacks. These are the type of feedback given by a business owner or a manager who themselves don't have a solution. So when you don't have a solution to cover up your incapability on giving a solution, you just confuse people with this lazy corporate jargonish feedback of think outside the box or buckle up or pull up your socks. Vague feedback is absolutely useless and meaningless. It's a reflection of the incapability of the giver of the feedback. Which brings me to the fourth method of how not to give feedback. The fourth method of how not to give feedback is to be sarcastic and taunt people. You know, sometimes I have seen business owners and managers in their team meetings, they don't have the courage to confront, neither do they have the capability to give clear feedback. So they use this tone of sarcasm and taunting and say, हाँ तुझसे तो कुछ नहीं हो पाएगा, हम तो उम्मीद कर बैठे हैं. Or when somebody does something positive, they taunt them and say, oh, how come suddenly आज तो बारिश होने वाली है. बाबा बारिश तो होनी चाहिए और उस बारिश में तुम्हें डूब मरना चाहिए क्योंकि you are not empowering your team members. Please understand this. Sarcasm and taunt is the most ineffective way and the most hurtful way of giving feedback. It doesn't serve your team members. It doesn't help them at all. Which brings me to the last method of how not to give feedback. The last method of how not to give feedback is to be indifferent towards your people. A lot of times business owners and managers who do not have solutions for their team members, they just behave indifferent with their team members, and in the name of feedback they say, don't ask me, this is not my job, this is your job, for what do we pay you, you have to figure the solution out, you don't come to me and ask me how to do things, I don't care, I don't know, you have to do it. That indifferent method of giving people feedback is just telling people that they are alone. You are not with them, you're not going to be there for them. Who would like to work for someone who's not willing to be there for them? Who would like to work for someone who's just throwing them at the deep end and saying, your problem, swim out of this river filled with crocodiles? Nobody would. So please understand, these are all the ineffective ways of giving feedback. Your indifference doesn't work, your abuse doesn't work, your anger doesn't work, your accusations and blame doesn't work, your vagueness doesn't work, neither does your sarcasm and taunting work. So now I know your question is, so Rajiv, what works? What is the right way of giving feedback? Well, I'm going to teach you a method of giving feedback which I call the best method of giving feedback. It's called the B.E.S.T method. B.E.S.T. B.E.S.T. So I'm going to break down for you the best method of giving feedback. Now, what does the B.E.S.T method stand for? Write this down in your notebook. B stands for balanced feedback. When you are giving your team members feedback, the feedback has to be balanced. What do I mean by balanced? Balanced feedback is where you tell people what is positive about them. What are they doing well? Then you tell them what is negative. What are they not doing well? And then you tell them the solution. What do they need to do differently? Now, when you tell people what are they doing well, what are they not doing well, and what do they need to do differently, then your feedback is balanced. So when it comes to the best method of giving feedback, remain balanced. B stands for balanced. Positive, negative, solution. E stands for encouragement in feedback. Your feedback has to be encouraging. What do I mean by feedback has to be encouraging? Please remember the objective of feedback. The objective of feedback is to help people develop their capabilities and get the results that you desire for them to produce. Now, if you want people to develop their capabilities and get the desired results, you need to encourage them by letting them know that you trust them, letting them know that you have faith in them, letting them know that you have that belief that they can do it. Think about it. When you're discouraging your team members and abusing them and being sarcastic and telling them tujhse na ho payega, you can't do it, and then you're still giving them the responsibility, then in that situation, who's the idiot? The idiot is the leader who is abusing people, taunting people, assassinating the character of people, and then giving the same work to the same people. That doesn't make sense. But when you want your team members to produce that next level result or improve their capabilities, you need to encourage them and let them know, I am with you, I trust you, I have faith in you. So you are giving them feedback that is balanced and feedback that is encouraging. So they are open to taking that feedback and saying, my boss believes in me and he's told me what I'm doing well, what I'm not doing well, what I need to do different. So balanced, encouraging feedback. That's not it. S in the B.E.S.T method of giving feedback stands for specific feedback. So while you're giving people balanced feedback of what they're doing well, not doing well, need to do differently, and you're encouraging them and letting them know that you have faith in them, you also need to make sure that you're giving them feedback which is specific. So when you're telling them what they are doing well, be specific about what are the actions, what are the behaviors, what is the attitude, what is the communication that they're doing well. And when you're telling them what they're not doing well, be specific. What are the actions that they're not doing well? What are the behaviors that they're portraying that are not serving them? And then be specific about what new actions you expect them to take, what new behavior you expect them to demonstrate, what new communication capability you expect them to express with. When you give them specific feedback, that's when that feedback has value. Think about it. Balanced, encouraging, specific feedback. It's a killer combination. It's a combination for growth and development. Which brings me to the last element of the B.E.S.T method of giving feedback. So the feedback has to be balanced, it has to be encouraging, it has to be specific, and finally what matters in the B.E.S.T method of giving feedback is your tone. So T stands for your tone. Is your tone a tone of respect, a tone of care, a tone of encouragement, a tone of growth, or is your tone a tone of anger, blame, sarcasm, and taunts? You need to choose your tone and ask yourself, what tone will really help you fulfill the objective of feedback? What tone will really help you to help that person grow in their capability and take responsibility? So with that, I have shared with you the best method of giving feedback. Balanced, encouraging, specific, and with the right tone. When you get these 4 elements right, that's when you are leading your team with clarity and helping them develop their capability and enforcing your faith in them that shows that you are somebody who cares. And when you provide that clarity, equip them with that capability along with care, that's when they are open to receiving that feedback. I hope you found this video useful. This is just one of those critical skills that are essential for a business owner or a leader to develop. And apart from this skill, there are multiple other skills like hiring the right people, delegating clear roles, reviewing people's performance, training and developing people. And if you'd like to learn those other critical skills that you need to develop as a business owner, then I invite you for spending 4 hours with me and undergoing a training called the Business Breakthrough Seminar, which is a live program that I do. So make sure you watch this video and you click on the link and continue the learning journey. Because in this video, you've learned a methodology called the B.E.S.T feedback methodology. But in that training, you learn a lot more skills that is required for you to build the right team and retain the talent. Retaining talent is a big pain point for many business owners. They train people, develop people, trust people, but then those people learn and leave. Now, if you want to protect yourself from that pattern of people learning and leaving, then continue the learning journey and develop your skills. Watch this video till the end and click on the link and register yourself for my upcoming 4-hour live training called the Business Breakthrough Seminar. I look forward to seeing you there. I started my journey as an entrepreneur in the year 2006. And when I started my journey as an entrepreneur in the year 2006, I started with big goals, big dreams, big plans. But very soon, those big goals, big dreams and big plans shrunk in size. And the focus of building my business became month-to-month survival. I started 4 companies, out of which I had to shut 2 companies down in the year 2012 when I went through a 70 lakh loss and I earned myself a 45 lakh rupee debt. That's when I realized that something has to change. This has nothing to do with the business I'm building. It has a lot to do with my capabilities as a business owner. And therefore in 2014, I committed myself to a research project where I went across India and I interviewed 300 business leaders. People like Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, who's built Biocon. People like Ashok Soota, who's built Happiest Minds Technologies. People like C.K. Kumaravel, who built Natural Salon as India's largest chain of salon. And I asked them 2 questions. What is the strategy of building a profitable, scalable business? And what is the system to set, track and achieve goals in every department of the business? Asking these 2 questions to 300 business leaders opened my mind to a whole world of possibilities, where I realized the biggest mistake I was making as a business owner was I was doing everything in my business. This has been the mistake of most entrepreneurs. One of my biggest lessons was that if you're the best on your team, if you're the most intelligent person on your team, then you cannot build a scalable business because you get involved in everything and you get stuck in day-to-day firefighting. Taking these lessons, I designed a 4-hour live training called the Business Breakthrough Seminar, where I break down for my participants what are the 7 foundational activities to build a stable and successful business so that they have clarity on what they need to initiate in their business for better stability and focus on growth. I also break down for my participants on what is their role as a business owner. Because as a business owner, if you are in chaos, if you are confused, then that chaos and confusion spreads across your team. And I also will break down what are the 3 things that you need to focus on to build a business which can grow without you. More than 70,000 participants have attended more than 175 business breakthrough seminars from across 13 different countries. And out of these 70,000 entrepreneurs, 99.3% of entrepreneurs have responded saying that the Business Breakthrough Seminar was extremely relevant and practical for their business. These are staggering statistics to let you know that you need to be the next participant at the Business Breakthrough Seminar. And I'd love to work with you on helping you identify how can you grow your business and build something that is scalable and profitable. I look forward to seeing you there. Make sure you click on the link and register yourself right now.